Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today we are going to create a small 2D shooting game. And to get started, first you need to download the assets folder. I'm gonna leave a link in the description for it. I already have it under the resources folder. And next we need to set up some few things by going to project settings, and going to window under display. And I'm gonna set the width to 1280 and the height to 720. And I'm gonna change the mode to 2D and the aspect to keep. And next, let's start creating the main scene. It's going to be a 2D scene node. I'm gonna rename it to main, save it, and I'm gonna add a color rectangle for it. It's going to be the background, and I'm gonna select this color for it. Now let's adjust it to fill the screen like this. Now creating the gun, we need to click on add a new scene. It's going to be a kinematic party 2D node. Let's rename it to gun, add sprite, and also collision shape 2D. And I'm gonna add a node 2D for this gun. It's going to be the point from where the bullet is going to start. Now for the sprite, let's go ahead and click and drag the gray canon.png to the texture. And for the collision shape, I'm gonna select the circle shape 2D. Let's adjust it like this. And let's rename to this bullet point and move it to this point next to the muzzle. And this point is going to be from where the bolt is going to respawn. Now let us save the scene and go back to the main scene and create an instance of this gun like this. So we need to run the main scene. Now as you can see, we have this gun instance inside the main scene, but nothing is happening yet. And what we need is to make the gun always point to the mouse cursor. And for this we need to attach a script for the gun scene and call the physics process function. And from here we need to say look at get global mouse position. Now when we run the scene again, you can see that the gun now is always pointing to the mouse cursor. Now we need to change the mouse cursor, and this is actually very simple. All we need to do is to go to project settings, and under display we need to click on mouse cursor, and from here we can select this gun aim.png image. And because this image is 32 by 32 pixels, we need to set the offset to 16 by 16. Now when we run the game again, you can see that we have this new aiming mouse cursor. Now we want the gun to be able to shoot bullets, but first we need to create bullet C. It's going to be a rigid body 2D node. Let's rename it to bullet, and it's going to have sprite and collision shape 2D. Now for the sprites, click and drag the bullet.png to the texture. And under transform, going to scale, I'm going to set the Y value to 0.5. Now for the collision shape, I'm going to select the rectangle shape 2D and adjust it to the size of the bullet. Like this. Now let's save it. Now going back to the gun script, here we need to type some few lines to make the gun be able to shoot bullets. And first I'm going to start by creating some variables. The first variable is going to be the bullet speed. Export int var bullet speed. And we need to create a variable for fire rate. And another variable for the bullet lifetime. And now I'm going to create a variable for the bullet scene, the while bullet preload. Now here we need to get access to the bullet path, but we need just to click and drag this bullet scene to the code, like this. Now we need to create a boolean variable called can fire initialize to true. And finally you need to get access to the bullet point. So already var bullet point equal to bullet point. Now after finishing creating those variables, we need to start creating a new function called create bullet instance, and inside this variable let's say var bullet instance equal to bullet dot instance, and we need to set the position of this bullet instance. So bullet instance dot position equal to bullet point dot get global position. Now we set the rotation degree of this bullet instance. So bullet instance dot rotation degree is equal to the same rotation degree as the gun. So rotation degrees. Now we need to apply an impulse for this new bullet. So bullet instance dot apply impulse, and we need to apply it to the center of the bullet. So vector 2 0 0, and then we need to apply the speed to the bullet. So vector 2 bullet speed and 0 dot rotated rotation. Now we need to add this bullet instance to the main scene. So get tree dot get roots dot add child bullet instance. Now we want to remove this bullet instance after some amount of time. So yield get tree. We're going to create a timer that have the bullet lifetime, and here time out. Now bullet instance dot q3. Now we need to go to project settings and click on input map, and here we need to add a new action. I'm gonna call it fire, and down here click on this little icon, add event, click on mouse button, and it's going to be left button. Click on add and close. Now in the physics process function, we need to call the create bolt instance function, but only when we click on the fire button. So if input dot is action pressed fire, and can fire is true, then we call the create bolt instance function. And now we need to set the can fire variable to false, and we want to set it back to true after a certain amount of time. So yield get tree dot create timer with the fire rate, time out, and now campfire is equal to true again. Now we need to go back to the main scene, click on guide, and we need to set the bolt speed variable. I'm going to set it to 4000. I want it to be very fast, so the fire rate is going to be 0.5 seconds, and the bullet lifetime I'm going to set it to 2 seconds. Now let's try it. Now as you can see, when I click on the left mouse button, the gun is shooting bullets now. Now we want to add a shoot effect to the gun. So let's go ahead and click on add a new scene. It's going to be animated sprite node. Let's rename it to shoot effect. And in the inspector, we need to click on new sprite frames. Click on it again. That will open up this little window down here. And from here we can add a new animation. Let's rename it to animate. Let me delete this first. Now select animate and click on add frames from sprite sheet. We need to go to the assets folder and select shoot effect.png. Now from here we need to change the horizontal value to 1 and the vertical value to 2. Now we need to select the 2 frames and add 2 frames button here. Now I want to change the speed to 15 FPS. Now let's go ahead and attach a script for the shoot effect node. And here we need to call the ready function and initialize the frame to 0 and play animate. Now let's save it. Now going back to the gun script, we are going to start creating a new function called create shoot effect. And here we're going to say var shoot effect instance equal to, but first we need to get access to the shoot effect scene. So here const shoot effect equal to preload, and we just need to click and drag the shoot effect scene to the code. Now going back to the create shoot effect function. Here var shoot effect instance equal to shoot effect dot instance. Now we need to set the position of the shoot effect instance. So shoot effect instance dot position equal to bullet point dot get global position. Now shoot effect instance dot rotation degrees equal to the same rotation degrees of the gun. Now we need to add this shoot effect to the main scene. So get tree dot get root dot add child shoot effect instance. Now we want to remove this effect from the scene after it's finishing. So here yield shoot effect animation finished signal. So after the animation finished, we need to remove this animation scene from the main scene. So here shoot effect instance. Now shoot effect instance dot Q3. Now all we need to do is to call this function inside the physics process function. So create shoot effect function. Now let's test it. Now as you can see, we have the gun shooting bullets with a shoot effect animation. Now in the last part, we need to add a sound effect to the game. So we need to add a new scene. It's going to be a node, and inside of it, let's add an audio stream player. Let me rename this node to sound effect. Now I need to go to the assets folder and click and drag this gun shoot audio file to the inspector of the audio stream player. Now let's check autoplay and save it. Now going back to the gun script, here we need to create a new function called create sound effect. But first we need to preload the sound effect inside a variable. So const sound effect equal to preload. Now click and drag the sound effect scene to the code. Now going back to the function, here we're going to create a new variable called sound effect instance equal to sound effect dot instance. Now we need to add this instance to the main scene. So get tree dot get root dot add child sound effect instance. Now in the physics process, we need to call this function. So create sound effect. Now let us try it. Now as you can see, we have the gun shooting bullets with both sound and animations effects. And this is it for this tutorial. Thank you very much for watching, and see you all later.